Hello everybody and welcome back to Chronicles of the Chronicler 3, The Lost World Commentary. We're into episode 3 now, which is The Search. I did not mess up the title this time. It starts off with this pretty epic scenery, which is all from when I was out on vacation in Newaygo, Michigan, and I took the models with me and filmed all the outdoor sequences. None of which were even... well, this one was in the script. That's not true. None of them... most of them weren't in the script. This one was actually in the script and I just hadn't filmed it yet, but I decided to put it into an outdoor environment because why not? And, I mean, come on. It looks good.
Hardly ever thinks ahead before running into a fight. His only love is for his homeland.
It's just real simple, just holding the model up while making it look like they walk. I know my hands get into frame a few times, I'm sorry about that. But still, I mean, you don't see very many Bionicle stop motion videos when they go outside, so yeah. That was one of the reasons I wanted to go outside and shoot some stuff, because a lot of the Bionicle stop motion films I've seen don't go outside. I could just be completely wrong, and I just haven't seen the ones where they go outside, but yeah, I wanted to go outside and have them out there. This is actually the same location that the epilogue takes place in, but, you know, and so is this actually, it's just on the other, facing the other direction.
Do you think Label is right? Do you think we'll be able to...
This is where the, this was a new scene written specifically in to incorporate the outdoor stuff I was going to do in Michigan. Well, I think maybe it was partially in the script in a different sequence, but I rewrote it so it would work out in this part of the script and incorporated the Roxy's footprint.
I think it is. No mistaking it. Roxy.
And this was actually these shots here was the first time really that I played with camera focus, and in reality the camera is like anywhere from a couple feet to a yard or two away from the models at this point, and the more I zoom in, the more it focuses on the model and the background goes out of focus. So that was something I wish I had realized a lot sooner, because I really love the way that the models are in focus and everything else isn't. But unfortunately I did not notice this until at this point. I was probably like 3/4 of the way through production already, and of this 1/4 that was still remaining, the outdoor stuff was probably 2/3 of, so 2/3 of 1/4, if that makes any at all sense. This is another sequence that got severely cut back. I did upload the full sequence of audio. I mean, I only shot a little bit of the sequence because by then I already knew that Altair's character, well, not necessarily his character, but Altair's bit in this scene would be omitted. But
do you remember, you and me?
I had to cut a lot of it, yeah.
You have to know that. Haven't you ever wondered why you were the only tower in history who
I mentioned this in the behind the scenes video, but Altair's voice was originally based on Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown. It didn't necessarily end up sounding as much like that. I kind of threw in my own flair on it, but that was the original base that I modeled the voice on and added onto later, did my own stuff.
You know maybe the key of our survival, but you have to remember it.
I love the music in this scene.
That you're not normal.
What does this have to
Possibly
do
my
with
favorite
right
piece
now?
in the film.
Everything.
Now this was the lake out in Michigan. It was right behind the house, and at first I wasn't sure that this scene would even work. I was really just hoping it would, and thankfully most of it did. And the sequence went on quite a bit longer in the original script when I added the scene in. It included a fight with two Roxy, there was a well, first Liwa would be attacked by Arakshi on the beach, and Gali would fight it because Liwa would get knocked out. But at the same time, while this is going on, a second Rakshi attacks Holly and Huki up on the dock, and Huki falls off and nearly drowns, and Holly rescues him. And I kind of forget how the second Rakshi dies, but Gali kills the first Rakshi using Liwa's axe. I tried shooting the fight with Gali and the Rakshi, but it didn't. I was completely unsatisfied with the final result, and I did release it as a deleted scene, but even then it was only a fragment of what I filmed, because a lot of it was my hands in the frame and things that just looked completely wrong. Now this sequence with the fight between Pohatu and Onua was the first sequence filmed for the entire production, and it was filmed on February 11th, 2011. I remember that because it was my friend's birthday that day, and also it was in 2011, early 2011, right before Sam's Comics the movie got picked up by the MCC Film Club, which is why Lost World did not come out in 2011. It was pushed back to 2012. Production for it halted and then was supposed to resume in September. It was supposed to resume in September, but then comics again ran over schedule, so it was pushed back to November. And then I didn't actually pick it back up in November because I was still at the beginning of November I was still frantically trying to finish Sam's Comics, and then in December I just wanted a break from filmmaking in general. So it didn't really pick back up until like March, I think. It was over a year later. I forget exactly when I picked it back up, but it was over a year.
I'm supposed to believe that. Gali and Liwa both did.
And when I shot this scene, I did like a brief I recorded like a placement thing for Pohatu's voice. It was just pretty much the Huki voice. But just to kind of like get the pacing right so I could do it. And this piece of music has been used in a lot of YouTube videos, including I was introduced to it because my friend Carl used it in one of his videos, and then later I heard this on several other YouTube videos, and the only one that's coming to mind right now, I know that Captain Sparkles used it in the Hunger Games videos, or his earlier Hunger Games Minecraft videos.
You are always weak, Pohatu. You're blinded by a mistake I made. A mistake? You're calling murder a mistake, you son of a bull rock?
Son of a bull rock. That was one of my favorite things that I came up with in this film. I don't know why, but it's so cheesy and yet it works. And this is really the first time I was experimenting with
Who do you think will win?
experimenting, intercutting video and stop motion stuff. And it was really when the first major attempt to do like fighting. Exactly, because there was some fighting in like there was some fighting in Mask of Power. There wasn't a whole lot of fighting in Lost World. There wasn't a whole lot of fighting in Fallen Order. But the fighting in this film is incredibly different from the fighting in Mask of Power, because like this sequence in particular, it's hand-to-hand fighting. There's no weaponry involved, whereas a lot of the other fights in Mask of Power involved weaponry, like swords and stuff, and swords and disc launchers. And this was when I was experimenting with actual fighting.
You take Pohatu with you and I'll take Onua. Return here if you find one of them.
Oh, this sequence, I forgot to mention, this sequence originally included Huki and Maku. You can actually see them both in the background of the scene, but they both got cut. But anyway, we're out of time, so I will see you next time with the commentary for episode 4.